Good day everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel Code with Lorenzo. Today we are going to be learning how to create our first HTML page, and the page we're going to be creating would be this page. This is what we're going to be creating today, and by the ending of this video you should be able to make this particular HTML page. It's basic, it's just normal, it's just no CSS, no styling, but as time goes on we will get there and we'll make our pages look way more beautiful. So first of all, in continuation of my last video, we are going to be creating a new file under the HTML folder we created in the last video, and the new file will be first.html. Now, before we write any single line of code, you need to understand what HTML is and how it interacts with the browser. So basically, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's the programming language for the web, meaning it is the language that web developers use to put elements on the web. So this language is based on tags. We have the opening tag, the closing tag. So the syntax of HTML is basically the opening tag, the elements, and the closing tag. That elements in between the opening tag and the closing tag is the elements that is going to be displayed on the browser. So first things first, now you know what HTML is. Now the next thing is, how do HTML connect with the browser? So the way it works is that the browser is able to read those tags that you've embedded in between elements. So it's able to, those tags have functions, they have what they do. So what the web browser does is it's able to understand, okay, if you've specified an anchor tag, what's it doing? It's creating a link. If you specified a div tag, what's it doing? It's creating a container. If you specified a list tag and another list or an ordered list, what's it doing? It's creating a list. So that's basically how the browser is able to interact your HTML codes to be able to display what you intended to display on the browser. So first things first, the shortcut I always tell people, or I always give people to use, is Shift then 1, which is exclamation mark. So you do that and you hit enter. This code pops up. So I'm going to be briefly explaining what this code is all about. Doc type HTML is basically saying that the HTML file here the document here is an HTML5 document. It's important to know that every web page on the browser, every web page on the internet is a document. So, but it's just an HTML document that has probably JavaScript linked to it, CSS linked to it, backend codes linked to it. But every single page rendered on the browser is a document. Now in this case, we are creating an HTML5 document. That's what line 1 means, which is this doc type HTML. Now the next line specifies the roots of the HTML page. Now that tag HTML is where the browser is able to read where this document is starting from. So that's basically what that HTML tag is doing. The lang en is specifying that the language being used there is English. Now the next line of code is the head tag. So we have the opening head tag and the closing head tag. Now everything embedded in these two tags are called the metadata of your website, the metadata of that particular web page. So in this case, we have metadata specifying the encoding that we are using, which is UTF-8, and is also specifying the width, the scale, the viewports of the web page. Now what this viewport basically is doing is that if I should open this web page on a mobile device, how is it going to display? If I open it on the desktop, how is it going to display? If I open it on a laptop, how is it going to display? All these devices I made mention of have different widths. So this viewport is able to target each and every one of those widths from the left side to the right side, and is able to target each and every one of those widths and scale your web page within that particular width so that it doesn't overscale or underscale. So that's basically what the meta tag there is doing. Now the title is basically specifying the title of our web page. Now where that title appears at the top of the web page. So for this title, we're going to be removing document and putting my first web page. Let's make it as web page. So that's that. Now the body tag is basically everything that is displayed on the internet, that's displayed on the browser. This is what I mean. So everything displayed from here to here is embedded in the body tag. So literally everything you're seeing on this web page, including this line, has been embedded in the body tag. So for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be explaining some of the formatting and some of the key basic tags we have in HTML. For example, we have the header tag. So the header tag ranges from H1 to H6. So H1, which is heading 1, to H6. So H2, heading 2, and I'm just going to copy this and do it 4 more times. So this will be H3, H4, sorry, this is H4, heading 4, that's the 4th level heading. Then H5, 5th level heading, and H6, which is the last level heading. Now let's see how this displays on the browser. If you want to display this web page, all you need to do is right click on the file we have up there, reveal in File Explorer. It takes you to where it is in your File Explorer. Then you open it. Now this is what our web page looks like. We have heading 1, heading 2, heading 2. This is because we didn't change the figures. We didn't change the figures for this, so this should be heading 3, heading 4, for better understanding of what this is. Now, like I said in the last video, it's important that you save each and every one of this file in separate HTML files. So in this tutorial, we are learning the basics of HTML. So you save this in, let's say, basics or first.html. When we learn list, you save it in list.html. When we learn about images, when we learn about links, when we learn about navbar, you save it in navbar.html, images.html, etc. So let's see how this looks now. So this is what heading looks like. So the next tag we're going to be talking about here is the anchor tag. So anchor tag is used to specify links. So if you want to link outside the web browser, or you want to link within files in your system, that's what link is all about. So one of them is relative, one of them is absolute. So if you're linking to if a document in your system, that's relative, that's a relative link. If you're linking to it's a link outside, let's say you want to link to youtube.com, for example, I put youtube.com in this href, and I want to link this with a text. So let's say click me. Now this is an absolute URL. That's what this is. Relative URL is if I'm linking to another file in my system. Let's say I have another file, I create another file here and I call it, let's say, second.html, and I just put this, nothing within this, but it's just to show you how relative URL looks like. So anchor tag, and this will be /HTML. Now // is basically specifying the level of changing of directories you're doing. So because of they are in the same directory, I don't need to actually put // if they are in different directory. Let's say I want to link to an image in the images directory, I have to specify the level at which I'm changing the directory. So this will be /HTML/second.html. So basically this is a relative URL. Now if I put second here, now this come in handy when you're probably creating nav bars and you're linking those links to another file in your HTML. Let's say you have your about page, you have your contact page, and those pages are actually documents you've created under the HTML folder. So basically you're going to be using relative URL to be linking those pages. So this come in handy when you're creating navbar. So that's about relative URL. But for this video, for the sake of this video, we're going to mainly be focusing about absolute URLs. So click me. If I save this and I come to my browser, so this is what it looks like. So you can see it takes me to youtube.com, but the youtube.com will have to be in full. Yeah, so this should be good. Then refresh. This should take me now to youtube.com. Yeah, so if I click this, it takes me to youtube.com. This is why. Let me just open this again. So for the sake of not what just happened now to happen to you, where you close the link and you close the file you're creating, we have an attribute in HTML for links called to open this link now on a new tab, we use target underscore blank. So this then opens the link on a new tab. So if we refresh this and we click on this, you can see it opens YouTube on a new tab. So the next step is creating a line, an horizontal line. That's simple. That's just HR, the HR tag. So that creates a new line. So other formatting tags include subscript, superscript. So if I want to do something like P and I do H, then subscript 2, that's chemical symbol for water, 0. So that's it. See, the 2 has a different look by coming below the H and the O. So that's that. We have also emphasis. So let's say this is a letter. So you can see it makes this in italics. So that comes in handy when you're trying to like create a quote, probably in your testimonials and your testimonial section on your web page, and you want to display probably what people have said about your product, stuff like that. You could use emphasis tag to display that. So that's been said, we then move further to images. So now in this case, I already have my image in my images folder. Now if you don't have this image, the link is in the description below, so you could check out the image there, download it and move it to your images folder. So you could actually, your web page could look exactly like mine. So if I display that on the browser, that's what it looks like. Now we could notice something here, that this is a letter and the image are showing on the same line. Now this is the reason for this is because emphasis tag and image tag are both inline tags. So now what are inline tags? What are block tags? Inline tags are tags that display on the same line. So if I have two inline elements, two inline tags, let's say I have an image tag or I have an anchor tag. An anchor tag is also an inline tag. So if I have those two tags, they are going to display on the same line, just the same way those two elements are being displayed right now. But if I'm having a block element, let's say I take out this emphasis and I put in the P tag, which is a block element, a block tag. Now the way this would display on the browser would be the image coming under that particular P tag. Now this is it. That's the difference between a block element and an inline element. So that's that. There are so many inline tags, we have emphases, we have images, we have anchor tags, and so many others. So that being said, there are other formatting tags you could look up anytime, any day. So for the sake of this YouTube video, we are going to be creating the page initially shown at the beginning of this video. So first things first, we have my first HTML page, so that should be h1. So h1, my first HTML page. Then the next thing is, this is my first HTML page. It's not all beautiful, but I'm getting there. So I'm just going to be copying this and I'm going to be pasting it within my p tag. So next up, we have click here to check me out. Now, if I hover on this link, you can see that it's supposed to be taking me to youtube.com. So yes, code anchor tag https. It's important to specify the protocol, https, http, whatever protocol of the website you're going to, with your column, then double forward slash to specify the absolute URL. Else it's gonna like take you to, it's gonna display as a relative URL. So in this case, https, then youtube.com. So on the web page, it has click here to check me out. Next up, we have CodeWithLawrenzo. That should be h2. CodeWithLawrenzo. And thank you for tuning in to view this channel. I hope you get a lot from today's video. So I'm just going to be copying this and pasting it in between my p tag. Then next up would be the emphasis tag and the image. So be happy, and the image tag // images / the image. So they should look same. So if I check this out on our web page, this is what it looks like. This is what we're supposed to be doing looks like. Now the next thing is formatting. That should be h3. The next up, it's h2o. We initially did that before, so p tag, then h subscripts, then 2, then your o behind the closing tag of the subscript. Then next up, we have CWL with superscript of 2, so p CWL superscript of 2. Then we have our horizontal line HR. So that's basically it. So let's see if it looks exactly the same with what we're supposed to have. So that's that. So if you want this be happy and image to be broken without, like, you want to use the same tag, you want to use the same emphasis tag and image tag, you could just add the BR tag. Now BR stands for break. It's used to break two inline elements in HTML. Whether it's inline, whether it's block, it's just used to break two elements on a web page. So that's being said, you can see image comes under be happy. They are no more on the same line. So that's that for that. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you really learned a lot from today's code. As time goes on, we're going to add CSS and a few more touches on every single web page we create. Please kindly like this video, subscribe, and tune in any day, anytime. Thank you very much for watching.